it took us 6 months before we told anyone in our family that he was diagnosed with autism, because we didn't know how the rest of our family was going to deal with that. It took us another 6 months, so a full year after the diagnosis, before we revealed it to our church. Because how is a church going to deal with the fact that they're seeing their pastor has a child with autism? Because let's be honest, most churches are looking for that husband and wife and the two nice kids that are going to be at everything. And here we are telling them, there's going to be some differences here. He's not going to be able to be with all the other kids. There's going to be times when I can be there, but my wife can't. And there's going to be times when my wife can be there and I can't, because one of us are always going to have to make sure that we're around and available for Anakin.
I know that churches have special needs people, especially with autism, like what Wayne and Sarah have at Bethany Baptist. It's just that if churches will take the time and be able to learn, be willing to experiment, be willing to have some outburst or some emotional situation that might arise, and be patient with that and realize that it's part of the discipling and learning process, I think they'll find that it will pay off as other families come in and being able to know how to minister and deal with them as well.
We had to begin talking about the process of looking for a church and being very upfront and honest with churches. Hey, we're not a typical family. We have a son with autism. And I got to tell you, there were some interviews that when I answered that question or brought that up, that was kind of the end. They were not interested anymore because they wanted more of a typical pastor. And one thing that my associate pastor often says is that Bethany Baptist agreed to do autism ministry the day that they brought me on as their pastor, because they knew what they were getting. And some of the things that we've done here, we try to have a buddy for him. A buddy is just somebody an adult that can sit with him on a one-on-one situation. If we can do that through children's church, like where he can be with the rest of the kids and they can have an adult that's a buddy with them, then we try to do that. If that's too much for him, we have put together a small sensory room here at our church. It's not a big bell and whistle sensory room, but we've got like a little trampoline in there. We've got a tent in there. He can control the lights. There's Legos because he loves Legos. So there's Legos in there that he can build, and it's there that if things become overwhelming, if there's a lot of kids in children's church, it becomes overwhelming for him. So he will then have the opportunity to then just go in to the sensory rooms. But some of the blessings are, man, I get to see God work in many different little ways. So, yesterday it's a Sunday and he's getting dressed and he goes, Jesus. So yes, we're going to go to church to hear about Jesus.
Wayne brings up a really good issue with having an autistic child, is our churches are not really equipped, and even our association struggles with how do you help. One of the things that I think we want to do is see that we make disciples of all people. Well, autistic people are people that need Jesus just as much as anybody else.